Okay, so let's start. Can you all see the screen, the presentation?
Yep.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Sushant. I'm an Epix TA. I'm a graduate student in electrical department. This is a PDH Python workshop. So let's begin. So about today, so what are we going to do? So today is what is Python, a difference between what's a programming and a scripting language, history of Python, scope for Python. Then we'll go through the installation, sample code, then running Python, and we'll go through the Python basics like variables, strings, data types, and few tasks which you'll be performing today. How many of you guys know that it was named after this one? Actually, it was not. The slide 3 was just a joke. Python, actually, it was created by Guido van Rossum, and his philosophy was that he wanted to create a language which is readable code and with clear, beautiful syntax. In fact, the name behind the Python language is there was a television series, Monty Python's Flying Circus. In fact, it was named after this, not the snake. Okay, what is Python? Python is basically a programming language which is often used in applied in the scripting roles. So that is why it's also called as a scripting language too. Uh, Many of us get confused between what's a program and a scripting language. Uh, Basically, a program is executed. That is, a source is first compiled, then result of that compilation is expected. This is the actual meaning of program. So program is just a sequence of instructions written so that computer can perform a certain task. Whereas a scripting is interpreted. That is, basically a script is code in scripting language, which is used to control the other softwares or applications or other code, which is written in program. So program would be an example of a C is a program, scripting, Python is a program as well as a scripting language. So in today's scope of Python, we use Python everywhere. It's used extensively in web, communication with databases, desktop GUI, scientific computing. It is also used in software development. I guess everyone likes games, right? So it's also developed in 3D graphics. Everyone now talks about machine learning. So PyTorch is one of the important tool for nowadays. You can read many other success stories in www.python.org about success. So who uses Python today? If you come with respect to the companies, Google make extensive use of Python. It's in its web search system and employs Python's creator. Intel, Cisco, HP, Qualcomm, all they use Python for hardware testing. Since it's easier to understand, so everyone wants to learn and they want to use it. So why do people use Python? Why not C? Why not other languages? Why the Python is so popular? Basically, a Python is an object-oriented language. You will learn about object-oriented in the next advanced skill sessions. So for right now, you can just know what are these terms. Basically, it supposes polymorphism, operation overloading, and multiple inheritance. So these terms, you will learn more about it in advanced Python skill sessions. One more reason is Python is free, it's open source, so you can just download it from python.org, and the source code is easily available. Another reason is it's very powerful, so it's a dynamic typing. So there are many built-in tools, types, libraries. third-party utilities. So Python give and features where third parties can write their own libraries and we can use them. And another reason it's portable. So Python, if you write in one computer, you can use it in other PC. So it's just virtual. So installing Python, basically Python is pre-installed in most of the Unix systems, Linux and Mac OS. But for Windows operating system, you can download for free in python.org downloads. I've already sent instructions prior to this meeting, so I hope you guys have downloaded the versions. Okay. Let's run. So this is how a Python shell looks like. Can you all see the Python shell?
Yes.
Hello. Okay, great. Thank you. So in most of the language, when you want to learn a new language, the first program everyone teaches you is to run hello world. So it's so easy that if you just type print and if you type any string, see, you can just run simple statements. It's a common language, normal English. So you can just type it and you can run it. So simple. Have you guys installed the Python, which had center installation steps?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's go into basics in Python. First, we'll touch up the math. So everyone has used the calculator, right? So we all know what's 3 plus 2, 15, what is 12 minus 3. So it's easier in Python if you just type whatever you have to calculate. Gives the result out. So it calculates behind it. Already there are pre-installed libraries in Python, so you don't need to install anything. Okay. So generic operators would be plus, minus. This is addition, subtraction. For division, it is a slash. And for multiplication, it is a asterisk key. Asterisk key is found in the number letter 8. So 5 into 5 is 25. Can you all just open your idle and try out some?
Sure.
Any volunteer to share the screen? Okay. Okay. So the calculations are simple, right? So it's a basic. How do you guys use in a normal calculator? It's a similar step you just write in a plain in English. The other operators would be like this is less than sign, less than or equal to, greater than, not equal to. So what we say when is 2 less than 3, it's true, right? So if I just type out is 4 equal to 2, false. So it's all normal plain English language. Is 3 greater than 2, true. Is false, less than true. So in Python, generally, true is determined as 1, false is determined as 0. So 0 less than 1, false. Okay. So coming to strings in Python, strings are anything you write within the quotes. It could be numbers, it could be letters. So whatever you write in the quotes, double quotes or single quotes, it just prints out. So if I just okay, if I use single quotes, the only criteria is so whatever the opening quotes you've used, either you can use double quotes or single quotes. So if you're using double quotes in the beginning, you have to end it in the double quotes in the end. Similarly, single quotes, end with single quotes. Now, if you have to insert a single quote in between, what I mean is, as you can see, I'm inserting a single quote here. I have to end it with double quotes. So the single apostrophe comes here. But if you guys use single quotes here, it ends here. So it gives an error. So what if I just type value without quotes? What difference does it make? It gives an error because I'm not using the double quotes. If I use a single quote or double quote doesn't matter, but you have to use double quotes. It's irrespective of numbers, letters, so I can use 3 plus 2. So can you see here? There's a 3 plus 2 here. This is 3 plus 2 here. So both are different. So the above one will take it as a math numbers. So it calculates the result and prints out. But this one, it will take as a string and it prints as it is. 3 plus 2 is 5. So if you don't put and then double quotes, then it takes as a math value and it prints out. Some more things about strings. So this plus is called as concatenation. So plus if you use in numbers, it is an addition. But if you use it in strings, it combines two words. It combines two words. I can give a space So there's a space here because I've given a space after O. Similarly, if you do a asterisk, which is called as a multiplication, so in math it multiplies, but here in string it repeats. It's 3 times it repeats continuously. Coming to the indexing point of view, so if you write a string of 5 letters HELLO, so if I give a square bracket and I write a number 0, I close it, it gives out the first letter. In Python, the first index always starts with 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I type out So if I type out 1, the second letter E prints out. The reason is because H is 0th index, E is first, L is second, next L is third, next O is fourth. So this is called as indexing. If you want to print out from the reverse order, so what you guys do is you just type -1. Can anyone tell what would be hello -3? You can just type in a chat box. Okay, that's great. Okay. The one more term which we use regularly is slicing. What is slicing? You just divide, you take a sub part of a string. So if I want from E to L, so what I do is I just take hello square bracket 1, it's a colon and 4. So here it starts with 1, but it ends with 4 minus 1. Always the end string is not counted. End term -1. So here first letter is E, second is L, third is L. So it takes only 3 characters. So end term would be -1. I just want 2 letters. What would be the result of this one? Hello 2:4. Olivia says LL, Sam says LL. Okay, let's see. Correct. Okay. The another very important function is length. So length of any character, like if you write a string, it gives length. So hello is a 5-letter word, so it gives size as 5. Coming to the next one, comparison. So we all learned comparison of numbers. We know that 2 is less than 3. So similarly, here a string, when is compared with another string, it always starts with first letter. What I mean is, if you see here, H is less than J. So if you check the alphabet wise, it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. H comes before J. Is it true? So that's why it comes as 1. 1, as I told before, it's true. 0 is considered as false. Let's try out. As you can see, I've just typed DEF, which is less than ABC. So the letter D is not less than letter A. So that's why it says false. So one more term which is very useful in Python is if you have to search any letter in the string. So it's just you have to type is E in hello. So he says true. E is in hello. Yes. So simple. But in C language, if you have to search any character in the string, you have to write at least 5 to 6 lines. You have to do a for loop. So it's just difficult in C language, and in Python it's very easy. You can use just normal day-to-day language. Okay, coming to variables in Python. So what is a variable? So basically a variable is same as how we learned in maths. So when we tell x is equal to 5 or y is equal to 10. So x and y, those are variables. You're storing the value 5, 10, 20. That value you're storing in the x. Similarly, you can store strings, you can store letters, you can store numbers. So if I take an Harry Potter example, so headmaster is equal to Dumbledore. So the string Dumbledore is stored in headmaster. And when I type print headmaster, so the result would be Dumbledore, which the value is getting printed. Now, for the same variable, when I assign a different name after this, when again I tell it to print headmaster, it prints the new one. So similarly, when we learned previously in maths, when I tell x is equal to 5, when I overwrite it with x is equal to 10, the new value would be x is equal to 10. So that's how it prints out. Okay. How many of you guys know a C language? Okay, that's great. So basically in C language, you're using this flower bracket to open and close. So this is indentation. So in order to separate the syntaxes, the lines come under this scope of the for loop. So we use flower brackets. This. So what I mean is the whole if line number 3 to 12, it comes under this for loop. So line number 7 to 10, 11, sorry. 7 to 11 comes under this if loop. A single number 10 comes under this loop. So we can differentiate using a flower bracket. But in Python, they use indentation. Indentation is a 4-space letter. What I mean is, as you can see here, once you write a colon, after this, you have to give a 4-space. So in this line, whatever comes out, it falls under this category. I'll be showing an example later, which would be easier for you guys. Coming to functions. So basically functions are a group of related tasks you want to perform. And the advantages of function is you can break a big program into smaller units. I know it's little lot to digest now about the functions, but once you learn, go on, you'll understand what these are terms. Functions are also used where you can reduce the repetitions, and the same function can be used multiple times. One more advantages is the variables defined in the function cannot be seen outside of the function. So this is just remembering points. So what I mean is, if in C you just write the void main and something, or void or the return type, etc. But in Python you have to write def. Def is nothing but definition. So def, the function name, the arguments, and you can just type whatever you want to type, and you can call this function as this statement. So Ideon.com is just an Python online compiler. So wherever, if you have to use a small compilation, then you can just run this, use this one. So as I told you, if I type as a definition greet, name and hour. If I just run it, okay. As you can see, if I just run it, I'm passing the argument for the name Sushant and hour as 6. So it says, hello Sushant, it's now 6 o'clock. So as you can see here, I'm passing the string. As I told you before, the plus sign in string, it concatenates. So name here is a value, it's a variable. So instead, I'm not putting a double quotes here. So as I told like previous, like Headmaster Dumbledore. So whatever you type in the value, it gets printed. So since I'm passing Sushant here in the name, it gets printed. Again, hour is a number letter 6. Str is a string which converts number into a string. Again, it's a string. Okay. So what are modules? So modules are, you guys know the library in C, right? So similarly, we call modules in Python. So if there are any specific functions, libraries, so related to one document, so they write everything in one and they name it as math. So in C, you guys write like stdio.h or math.h. So similarly here, we don't write any as .h, we just import math and we write the definition. This is a function. And for, if I have to write a Pythagoras theorem, since I'm using here a square root, it's a math.square root. So if you are using any library function of this math, then you have to append it with math.function name. So as I ran here, import math, definition, Pythagoras, the result is math dot square root of a square plus b square. Okay, I want to mention one more thing. If you write a single star, it's a multiplication. If you write double star, it's a raise to a square plus b square. If I write instead of 2 or 3, it would be a cube. So whatever the result of these two calculations is stored in result and I return it. So when I say print Pythagorean 3, 4, it says like goes to this function a as 3, b as 4, comes here, it says a square is 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 16 plus 9 is 25. Then it takes the square root of 25 is 5. It stores the result, value 5 in result. That result is returned. So basically it comes as print open bracket 5. So it prints out 5 here. Okay. Okay. So this is the task one for you guys. I give you 5 minutes. You can open ideon.com. Just type it in chat box. You guys can Google it, this ideon.com, open it and perform this task. Can everyone open the ideon.com? You can just open any browser. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Okay, great. So this is a task one. So you have to implement a function to calculate the roots of mathematical function of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So you have to just pass a comma b comma c directly into the function. So just forget about the equation. The formula would be x is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So like previous example, just import math module and use its function square root. So x is a variable here. So just use these equations and calculate. Write a small function. It's not a big function. I'll just give a 5 minutes. If anyone finishes, you can just type yes or I completed in chat box. Does anyone has idea like how to proceed or okay, that's great. Okay. The equation just looks complicated, right, to write a program. So I'm going to show you the solution. If you go to the solution, just input maths. I wrote a definition, roots. I'm just passing the three arguments A, B, and C. So as you can see, what is the numerator here? It's minus B plus root of B square minus AC. So it's just minus B plus math square root of B square. It's B star star 2 minus 4AC. So I'm dividing into two new nominators, nominator 1, nominator 2. So in second nominator, I'm just writing it as minus. The denominator would be into 2A. So what are the roots? It's nominator upon denominator, right? So root 1 would be nominator 1 upon denominator. Root 2 would be nominator upon denominator. So finally, I have to return root 1 and root 2. If you just print, and if I pass roots A as 1, B as 2, and C as 1, then let's see this how this works out. A same function I've written here. So if I just pass A as 1, B as 2, and C as 1, the result would be minus 1, minus 1. So the root 1 is minus 1, the root 2 is minus 1. It's so simple, right? So any complicated math equations can be divided into function. After coming to function, you can just divide a numerator upon denominator and just calculate. You can do like lots of parabolic equation, all sort of equations. So were you guys close to the solution? Coming to the data type in Python. So as we know in C, there are like integer, long, short, so character. So similarly in Python, so you don't need to specify like integer, int, or char, anything. So it just Python automatically assumes it and takes it. So the booleans are same. It's either true or false. Numbers can be integers 1 and 2. Floats can be 1.1, 1.2. Fractions can be 1 by 2 or 2 by 3. You can even write complex numbers in Python. Strings are sequence of unique code characters, as I told before. Bytes and byte arrays are it's like a set of value where you write in column and row wise, like how a JPG image file looks like. Lists are ordered sequence of values. It's similar concept in array and C. Tuples are ordered same way as lists, but once you write a value to tuple, you cannot change it. List, you can modify it later also, but in tuples, you cannot modify it. Coming to sets, sets are unordered, so it can be in either of the positions. So, but the sets will be used as a key methodology. So these you learn again in advanced. Coming to example, string would be high, similar to this one. Integer would be 42. A float would be like 3.141. List would be, it's a set of characters, like it could be like all the strings or it could be all the numbers, like list of 3, 4, 5, 6. So it could be an ordered pair. One more advantage of Python is if you just type print type of high, it gives a type as string. Coming to a list data type. So list, as I told you before, it's a set of collections of a same type. Either you can type all the strings or all the numbers. So it is separated by a comma, as I told you before. Here I can see physics, comma, chemistry. This comma separated. List 2 would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Advantages of list is it need not be of the same data type, but in array in C it should be of same data types. Coming to a few of the functions which are very useful. CMP list 1, list 2. CMP means compare. So as I told you before, length of list gives a total size of the list. If there are, as you can see here, length would be 1, 2, 3, 4. It gives 4 as the length. Max of list gives the maximum value in the list. Min gives the minimum value. List of seq converts a tuple into a list if sequence is defined as the tuple. Just another examples, similar ones. If I just give an example, Beatles, John, Paul, George, Ringo. So if I just type Beatles of 0, so it gives out the John because this is the 0th index. As I told you before, Python always starts at 0. So this is 0th index, first index, second index, third index. Tuple. Okay, let's talk about tuples. Tuples are similar way of in list, but you cannot change it. So once you write a tuple 2 as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you cannot change 1 to 2. The previous slides you've seen, lists are written in a square bracket, but tuples are written in a simple bracket, open brackets. So if you have to access a tuple 2 of just to access from 1 to 5, so output of 1 to 5 be 2, 3, 4, 5. As I told you before, this is 0th index, this is first index. Again, there are built-in tuple functions. It's the same like lists. So if sequence is defined as a list, then you can convert it into a tuple just by calling this function. Coming to loops and conditional statements. As we all know, we have studied in C, there's a while loop, for loop, nested loops. So while loop would be, you can repeat a group of statements while giving a given condition. Until the condition is satisfied as true, the same sequence of statements will be executed. For the for loop, it repeats until the condition satisfies. Here you can give a condition and you can increment the value, etc. Nested loops are again, you can write while loop inside a while loop, or you can write for loop inside a while loop. So these are called as nested loops. Coming to the if statements, an if statement would be a Boolean expression, and if you satisfy that condition, then only it enters that statement and executes. If it doesn't satisfy the condition, it just doesn't execute the inside statements. If else would be if it satisfies the condition. The best way is to explain with an example. So as you can see, if number is equal to 3, if number is greater than 0, 3 is greater than 0, true, right? So it prints out number is a positive number. If this doesn't satisfy, it goes to the next elif condition. Again, it checks if number is less than 0. If a type as number is -1, -1 is less than true, then it goes inside. It prints out a negative number. else it prints out number is 0. Similar to for loop, you can just type the number list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can type a for loop value in number list. So what happens is value gives the value in the like first iteration, 1 is get printed. For second iteration, 2 gets printed. Third iteration, 3 gets printed. Similarly, while loop. So until this type satisfies, this goes on printing. Okay. This is your task 2. So you have to define your mission. The mission is you have to type print first 20 terms of Fibonacci sequence in one line. So the Fibonacci sequence would be it's 0, 1, 1. I'll just type in chat box. So the first two letters, first two numbers are fixed, 0 and 1. So the third one is addition of first and 2. 0 plus 1 is 1. So the next, in order to get the next one, you have to add the previous 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. So if I have to get 3, then it is 2 plus 1 is 3. If I have to get the next one, it would be 2 plus 3 is 5. If I have to get the next one, it is 3 plus 5 is 8. If I have to get the next one, it should be 30. 5 plus 8 is 30. So similarly, you have to print a function which gives me first 20 of these sequence. I'll give her 5 minutes. Just a hint, you can use a for loop, just showing the for loop here. If anyone wants to take the syntax. Do not write the numbers in number list and just print it. So you have to just pass first two numbers, that is 0 and 1, and next one you just need to add it. Again, the same drill. So once you complete it, just type yes in the chat box. Any hints? Anyone has an idea like how to proceed? You can just type in chat box, or you can just say whichever is comfortable. Did you guys get the question, like what to write? Like what is the question? Okay. Just show you the previous example. So Ideon is just We just write any set of statements and type. Just click on this. Give me a second. So just type print hello and just run it. So the result would come out in hello. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, let me share solution. So just a simple 5 lines of statements. First, you just pass a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 1, and you write a for loop for I in range 0, 20. Just print a. So first print 0, then the value b is assigned to a, and the value a plus b is assigned to b. So next time the 1 is get printed because 1 was here. The next time the b value would be a plus 1, a plus b. So that's 0 plus 1. So this is example a is equal to 0, b is equal to 1. So as you can see here, the output is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. You just, if you add these two numbers, you get the next result. So this is just one line statement. Generally, this in C takes at least like 4 to 5. You have to copy all the numbers. You have to store in temp value. Python is easy, right? So you can just type in one line. One more example for you guys. Task. You have to create a list of random numbers, random integers with between 3 and 33. You have to sort them in descending order and print the original sorting, as well as you have to store the original sorted one also. So you can use rand as the function, similar how you guys use the math.square root, right? So yeah, you have to use your random.rand. So you have to import random. Import random. So it's just another library similar to math. Use random.rand, and for sort it's just type sort. You guys have to create a list. Okay. Did anyone complete it? or at least have an idea how to do it. Okay, let's see the solution. So as I told, you have to import a random, create an empty list. This is called as empty list numbers. Use a for loop for in range 7. I've told you to use 7 numbers. So append is again another function, just like length. So you have to use append. As I told you have to use random.randint. So any like module you're using, you have to write random, like as I told you before, it is like math dot square root. So here it will be a random dot randint. Randint is a function and random is a module name. So we have to give a range. So 3,33. So this one chooses any random numbers between 3 and 33. So every time you run, it gives a different random numbers. So once you write what append does is, so whatever this gives, it just appends to numbers. So sorted numbers, what you are doing is you're copying this numbers into a new list. Sorted numbers will create a new list. So as I told you, like dot length, dot sort will just sort the numbers. And if I tell reverse is equal to true, it sorts in descending order. If I don't type anything, then it types in ascending order. Just show you an example. So I've written the same function. So when I run it, it gives me as 3, 6, 22, 30, 25, 25, 28. So this is a random number, right? And it's in jumbled order. So if I give reverse is equal to true, then it sorts in descending order. This sort is a function for the lists. So it gives a 30, 28, 25, 25, 22, 6, and 3. So this is in descending order. Okay. That comes to an end for today's presentation skills session. So you guys have any doubts? Was the session good? Okay, great. You guys have my email ID, right? So if you have any doubts later about Python, so you can just ping me. Any help, I would love to help you guys. So yeah, that's it for today. Okay, guys.